Okay, so this is the study abroad panel. Essentially, what's going to happen is I'm going to have everyone here introduce themselves, and I want you guys to just say what university you went to, any activities you did there, and then what kind of housing you guys lived in. Okay, so we can start at the very end with Gabby.
Woo.
Gabby.
Woo.
So I went to the Nagasaki University. It's one of the newest schools. Activities-wise, I didn't join any clubs officially, but I had some friends in the tennis club, so I played tennis with them. And then some friends in the Yosakoi club. So I went, watched one practice, and then it was like a really, I don't know, it was more like a Zumba workout, and I thought, no, but yeah. Oh, and I lived in the Hortensia dorm in Nagasaki. So that dorm, it was one foreign student for every 3 Japanese first-year students.
Natalie, or when you guys talk, can you stand up too? So can you stand up?
Should I do it again?
No, you're fine.
You're good.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. I went to Chuo University. Activities, I kind of joined the Chinese style of martial arts, the Bo staff. Self-defense, I tried to join the Kyoto, but it was too expensive, but I watched some practices. As well, I did a part-time job as an English teacher for some community kids, just volunteering and just help them practice with their English through games. Dorm-wise, I lived in the Tamadaita dorm. It was kind of like an apartment with 2 other Japanese students. Each of us had our own room. We had everything where we wanted for each in our suite rooms, but kitchen-wise and laundry-wise and shower-wise was always in the first floor, but I preferred that than the other apartments.
Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Jennifer and I went to Nagoya University of Foreign Studies, shortened to NUS. Activities that I did. We have something called a communication plaza, and on the 2nd floor we have a language lounge. And what we would do there is you would volunteer to help students with their English, and they would also help you with your Japanese, so it's kind of like vice versa, which is really cool. You can make a lot of great friends through that. And I actually participated in the Yosakoi Club for over a semester, and I got to participate in 2 festivals, which was really cool. Hamamatsu, longest weekend of my life. I performed 8 times. I had to run to each area, but it was just so much fun. I made a lot of great friends through the club. And I lived, there are 2 dorming options that you get. There's Proxy, but I lived in iHouse. iHouse is about 2 stories. Every exchange student gets a room to themselves. And even though it's 2 stories, it's very spacious. I can talk more about that, but I'll let everybody else talk. Okay.
All right, it's my turn. What's up, guys? My name is Nico Batista. I went to Tokyo University. So activities I did. So first semester, I joined a volleyball circle because I didn't think I didn't have enough experience for the actual bukatsu. But actually, so the next semester afterwards, before I left, I was like, YOLO. I was like, I don't want to regret anything. So I was like, I'm gonna join the bukatsu. Be serious, living the haiku life. So actually, yeah, it was really intense, but it was really cool too. Like, yeah, I was like, oh man, it was like a dream. But I recommend you guys take to do any clubs to join. Also, any circles too, if you want to make more friends. But in Tokyo, there's a lot of events through this group. They have an international club, so you can talk about that. I lived. Where did I live? I live. There's 2 dorms. It's called Asahicho and Yatsuka. Yeah, but Yatsuka is super, we can go into more detail about that. But mine was really close to school, so I like sleeping in, so I can just walk there or go on my bicycle. But I recommend Asahicho if you're for all the people going to Tokyo. Okay.
All right, so what's up? My name's Kamau. I went to Toyo. Let's see, Toyo. Group stuff that I did was there's something called the Bamboo Monkeys. They're basically like a club where you can meet with other Japanese students or other foreign students just kind of come together, have good times, make relationships, friendships. Through that, I made friends with a lot of people, and then they kind of like directed me to like different things that I wanted to do. So I didn't join a whole lot of clubs, but like say if I wanted to go to something as simple as like Tokyo Tower, there'd be like 8 people like, yeah, let's go, and then like we would go and make like a day out of it or whatnot. And as far as housing, we also have an iHouse as well. It's about 7 floors. It's like like as in foreign students, and then there's also teachers that are foreigners too that live in there as well. So like teachers that teach English or help with English coaching in the university also live above you. So you guys kind of got to be a little cautious with us sometimes, but other than that, it's pretty good. No crazy parties, or not too crazy.
My name is Andrea. I went to Tsumeikon University. I personally didn't join any clubs or circles, but Tsumeikon has hundreds, and you can get information about that during like the club fair. I lived also in Utano, which is one of 3 dorms that they have. They recently changed their names, and I can't remember what they are now. So if you have any questions about that, you can ask me.
Hi, my name is Marissa. I went to Okayama University. I did not join any clubs or circles, but instead I did a lot of sightseeing with my spare time. And I lived in a dormitory called Kunoki, where you get your own room that has a kitchen and a bathroom inside of it. They just built a share house as well. That's it.
Okay, so you guys should know me. My name is Diana. I went to Oberdeen, and I was part of the photography club. I was an actual member, so I participated in club activities. I submitted a couple photos to exhibits they had. It's interesting going out, taking pictures with people. I was also a member of the English Conversation Circle, so I was meeting with Japanese people to practice their English. And in turn, we would have days where we would practice our Japanese together. I'm the only person here who did homestay. I was in homestay for the whole year. I lived at, my home was about 15-minute train from, 15 minutes away from the school's closest station. And then it was like a 25-minute walk from there. I don't think there's anyone doing homestay, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, so, but yeah, I'm sure you guys will have the opportunity to have a homestay experience, at least for a weekend. So if you have any questions about homestay experience, any concerns you might have, make sure to ask me.
Okay, I'm Javon. You guys also know who I am, but I won't be the main focus of the panel, but you can ask me any questions too, that's fine. I also went to Toyo like Kamau. I was a part of Bamboo Monkey's first semester, but I got kind of busy because I was working. But basically, second semester, what I essentially did was I traveled a lot. So with the Japanese friends that I made, we traveled like a lot. I guess I spent way too much money traveling. Other than that, yeah, I lived in the iHouse as well. Just a note, if you do live in the iHouse, there are doubles and single rooms. Necessarily, you probably won't get a single room unless there's like a complication with your roommate or something like that happens.
Or medical reason.
Oh yeah, or a medical reason. But yeah, other than that, and then there's also a homestay. It's a weekend homestay you can do at Toyo as well.
But also know that they were doubles, but you get a single room still.
Yeah.
Room to yourself.
Okay, so alright, so the next part of the panel will actually be the Q&A section. This one I asked you guys to prepare questions, but if like no questions are being asked, I also have questions that I can ask the group, but I want you guys to start it on it, so anybody can go. Okay.
So I guess I don't know how all these campuses were situated, if they were far spread out or whatnot, but I'd be interested in knowing everyone's general commute, what they would do, whether it was by bicycle or if they would take any train or local subway, anything like that.
Before you answer, introduce yourself and what school you're going to.
Oh, my name is Nicholas McCullough, and I'll be going to Okayama University.
So maybe Okayama person might want to
Okayama
answer
first,
first.
yeah.
Okay. What do you mean commute? Like from school to?
Yeah,
You mean
so-
from the dorm to school or to volunteer or what?
It could be any of that, really. Like, knowing just the general geography of where you were, how would you go about, getting places on your daily, in your daily life?
So on day to day, from the dormitory to campus, it's only like a 3-minute bike ride.
Mm.
It's pretty much attached to the campus. I did. So I worked as well. So I took 2 buses to get to work, or you could take a bus and a train. Kurashiki is pretty close by. If you know the movie Rurouni Kenshin and the famous like fight scene on the bridge, that bridge is in Kurashiki. So if you're in Okayama, it's like a 15-minute train ride to Kurashiki. Now, if you want to go from Okayama to Tokyo, then that's going to take a long time. But it's only 30 minutes away. It's like 20 minutes away from Okayama Eki. So you can pretty much take the train from Okayama Eki to go anywhere. And then any other commute?
That covers it. Yeah.
Anything else?
So for so that's Okayama. So that's more on the not Tokyo side. But for living in Tokyo, there was a lot of people who have bicycles at Oberdeen. It was a I'm not sure how it is. I'm sure it is the same for other universities, but from the station they offer a shuttle bus. So from the closest station, it's like a 5-minute bus ride to your university. And then after that, if you don't want to do that, it's also like a 10-minute bike ride or a 20-minute walk. It's no problem. Did other universities have the shuttle?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so awesome.
But to pay for it, actually, you'd have to go to City Hall because it's part of it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So there was so it's different, but some universities might have the same concept. Do you recommend getting Passmo, Suica? So it's pretty much just the pass cards. Those are. It looks like a credit card. It looks like a credit card. It's rechargeable. I'm sure some people have it. I can see Kevin whipping his
And with you, you can pass them around if you want.
Yeah, exactly. So you're probably gonna want to get one of those. Not even if you need it.
They're different for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, this is Monaka. This is something that we have in the Nagoya area. It's the same thing as Passmo and Suica.
Yeah, Passmo Suica
yeah,
is
you
Tokyo
can
area.
Yeah, so this being passed around, and then those cards are really useful because
Yeah.
you're usually
Yeah, they're all
able
the
to
same.
use
They're
it
just
in the
different
buses,
titles. Like I had.
trains, pretty much everywhere. You could also pay at a convenience store. So these are also pretty much debit cards, and then you can recharge them at any station. For people who are going to be commuting, I'm not sure how it is for the dorm situation, but you're also going to want to get a commuting pass. Those are usually cheaper. You're going to be paying a set amount for maybe 6 months, 3 months, 6 months. It's cheaper in the long run. Or if maybe you're in Tokyo and you're thinking, oh, I'm probably going to want to be going to Shibuya, Harajuku every weekend, the commuting pass might be useful to get. It's pretty easy to get one. When I first arrived, I was under the impression we needed to fill out an application and then turn it into the station worker, but it's actually pretty simple to get it at one of the machines. So I'm pretty positive everyone has those cards yet.
For me, there is no like shuttle to the school. I took the bus. Some other students who want to save money, they want to use spend it on the bus, or get the bus pass that you can use for about depends 3 to 6 months or more. Some students use the bike. For me, I mostly use the bus, and it was about 20 minutes or so to the school. Walking you can, but it'll take a while. There's other commutes, depending where you live in what apartments. If you lived on the second apartment, one of the other internationals, you take the monorail. It is slightly quicker, but very more expensive, and it drops you off a little further from the school. There's another one, but I'm not entirely sure since it's a bit more further away from the dorm I stayed at. The bus pass I got because I can use on any KO bus. That's one of the local buses that's around my area, and you can use on any the bus pass you can use on any bus. So and it just it can be free. It just depends how far you go and how much it will end up costing at the end. So for me, it ended up being about 240 yen per ride, and I use it up to then it'll cut you off and then starts to charge you after when you get off. So it'll be free for most cases. In some cases, it will charge you a little more, like maybe about 10 yen more or 30 yen more, depending how far you go. And it wasn't that hard to get it. Just you have to go to the bookstore that's near the station.
Yeah. I think when it comes to commuting, I feel like Nagoya would probably be the most convenient for those who are going to Nagoya, because the dorms itself, if you're living in Proxy, it's literally a 5-minute walk from there to campus. But if you're living in iHouse, it's literally up the stairs. And then for commuting, there are bus stops that are around the campus, so you can take those to just about anywhere. But if you want to go to Hongo Station itself, you'd have to take about a 5-minute walk from iHouse, an extra 3 minutes if you're from Proxy, to nearby the 7-Eleven. It's literally, yeah, about 2-3 blocks or so. And then right there, that's where the bus station would be. And then from there, you can go to just about anywhere with Monaca or the Zonichi Kipu, which is a 1-day pass. So you can go to just about anywhere, just use that pass for the day. I did that a lot on the weekends. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
My name is Christy Madra, and I'm planning on going to Nagoya.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, I saw that on the website that the, how do you say it, E-House or iHouse?
iHouse?
iHouse has a curfew on it. Does that affect how you travel? Like, if you wanted to go to on a weekend trip or something, is it difficult trying to work around having a curfew? Or
Not necessarily. If you have some friends who like to be night owls or anything, you can just ask them to let you in. You just have to go through the side door. If I remember right, the curfew was around 11 p.m. So there is that. But as long as you keep in touch with the caretaker, just let them know that you might be out, or talk to your RAs that you're going to be out for the night. So just so that they know that you're out.
Okay, I was just worried.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get locked out or anything.
No, you'll be fine. Yeah. Every year the RAs would actually set up a line chat for every resident in iHouse, so that if you are locked down, you need to be let in. If somebody's up, then they'll say, I can let you in.
Oh, that's so convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is it for the group or everybody?
Oh, for the
Or,
group.
sorry. Okay.
Well,
And your name and university?
Joshua, my name's Josh. I'm going to Nagasaki University. So I have one specific question for Nagasaki. So first of all, did you do the general student study abroad student exchange program, or did you do the Japanese language program?
I did the general study abroad program, which the main difference I saw was that there are some classes that they offer just to the exchange program. So I could take Ikebana and some other culture classes. And I strongly recommend the Ikebana course, not for the solely, flower arranging aspect, but because the teacher is really active in the community and she makes it a point to take us on field trips. We went to elementary schools, we visited her village, I guess, on top of this hill in the middle of nowhere. But she makes it a point of really showing us the city and all the people in it.
So my question for the group then is, how rigorous was the coursework in comparison to this school, and how much free time did you have during the week?
Well, for Nagoya itself, it really depends on where you get placed, because I believe it's in the second week when you actually take your placement test, and then depending on how well you do in that, they will assign you the classes that they think that you can perform. And then you also get to choose culture courses, and then from there you can kind of see whether or not your classes will give you any free time. And usually on Fridays we actually have excursions, which are field trips, so you'll make time for that if you have the money. But it just really depends on how diligent you are with your work. But if you are thoroughly diligent, then you actually will have the weekends to do what you please. But if not, then you'll be spending your weekends doing homework. Yeah.
Let's go Nico next. So we'll all go one by one.
Alright. So for Dokyo, it's also the same thing. It's known as a foreign language school, so most of the people you meet will be studying another foreign language, but there's also other departments as well. But as for the international program, you take a test, and then that same day, like a placement test on your Japanese level, and then you get placed like literally 30 minutes after. It was really quick. And they have like 5 levels, so they have Japanese 1, 2, 3, and then they have Senmon Nihongo, which is kind of like I guess like it's upper, and then there's, I forgot the other one, but it's like the last one is like the highest you take classes with normal Japanese students. And as I remember, I was placed in Japanese 3 and I moved up to Senmon Nihongo afterwards. And it was Monday through Friday, all the classes. There was no English that could be used in any of the classes at all. So it was all Japanese, and it was really strict, but it really helped, I think, a lot. But I don't think the homework was too much, but you had a lot of classes. Like, the classes from Japanese 3 and 1, 2, 3 was all set, so you had like 3 classes or 2 classes every day. But then as you get up to the higher classes, like Senmon Nihongo or I forgot the other one, the highest one, but you literally choose your own schedule, like how you would do here. And yeah, I don't think it would be too difficult. Like, if you can do most of the homework in class, but your weekends should be free. It doesn't take too much homework for the Yeah.
All right, so
it's language intensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Similar to everyone else, we have like placement tests at the beginning of our school year or whatnot. And in the first semester, there's only Japanese 1, 2, and 3 as the levels, but then the next semester 4 opens up. And there's always options for people to just take regular classes if they are that level, to just take the same classes that everyone else takes in Toyo. I think our blocks, I don't know if it was similar to anyone else, but our blocks for class started from 9, and then it was it was an hour, and then there was another hour for the second class, so usually end up around 10, 11, usually most days. And then some days you'd have an extra block there. But yeah, usually just be your integrated Japanese class, and that'd be every day except Friday, and then one other one underneath, and sometimes a third one. But the blocks of time are so different here. Everyone has classes at these times. They don't. It's not like here where it's oh, you might have a class at this time or not, and then everyone has the same lunch break, which does kind of tend to cause difficulty in getting lunch because it's lines are crazy. And so so you had to be aware of stuff like that, or and then sometimes you'd be oh, I'll go to the convenience, and the convenience will be packed too. It's hard if you have a whole bunch of classes. If you can just chill for an hour or something, it's fine. But if not, and then usually with the coursework, it was what's the word I want to say? Constant. It was a constant thing, but it wasn't, I guess, too hectic, but as long as you just stay on top of it, otherwise, but yeah, it wasn't too much. Weekends and most days were pretty free though.
Just since I'm just gonna talk after come out because we went to the same university. Some stuff has changed. The blocks of classes, so you end at noon. Your lunch break is at noon.
Yeah.
And then everyone in the Japanese program has to do a culture course on Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's
your third block.
Yeah, that's
and depending on your level, if you're J2 or below, it's just a culture course. But then J3 and above, it's an actual Japanese only speaking culture course. And you have no classes Friday unless you take extra courses. So everything ends on Thursday. And I think that's really it. Oh, and if your Japanese level is high enough, they will let you take classes in Japanese.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, you can just take classes with everybody else pretty much.
Yeah, and it's the course load isn't too bad, but once you start getting to J3, kanji and project work are some of the classes that you have. Those start becoming really intensive, so you have to do. It's kind of actually, I would say, project work actually gets you ready for capstone, because essentially you have to research in Japanese and do surveys and stuff like that as well.
So in terms of changing the level, Toyo is not so strict. How about the other schools?
Nagasaki, just because you're going there, Nagasaki had 6 levels. They were placed into Japanese 1 through 6. 1 being you don't know any hiragana or you can't read anything, and then 6 is you're taking your master's in Japan. But once they place you in your course, I was placed in Japanese 4 the first semester, and then you just go to the next one the next semester. So I was in Japanese 5. But if you felt that it was too easy or too difficult, you could always ask your teacher to switch you out, or you could sit in for one of the other classes and see if that was a better fit.
Okay, so it's easier to change.
Yeah.
How about the Ritsumekan?
Ritsumekan has, I believe, 8 levels. And the last 2 are kind of, you're basically fluent and you're taking Japanese classes with Japanese students. But it starts.
Is it easy to switch?
If you talk to the head teacher of your level, yes. But if you
Okay.
talk to international office, they will probably tell you no. But
Oh, okay. So
talk
that's
to the teacher first.
teacher
really
Talk to the
rather than
teacher.
international office.
Yeah.
How about Tokyo?
I think it really just depends on like how the teacher feels about like I guess your ability like to comprehend and speak and stuff, and then you can ask them if you feel, and then they can have you I guess how do you say gengaku to just to watch in the class, take part in the class, and then yeah, it's pretty easy. Like you don't have to take a test, so I don't think it's too hard.
All right. So Tokyo is a team teaching.
Yeah.
Okay. For one class, the many teachers kind of several teachers.
Yes.
Teach. And Ritsumekan
Ritsumekan
as
too,
well.
yes.
And Okayama is not assigned teacher. Will be teaching. Nagoya.
No, Chuo.
Yeah, Nagoya
Yeah.
is it?
With Nagoya, it depends on your level, but they do have a group setting for certain levels. So like 1 through 3 have the same teachers. 4 through 6 have, I think it's 4 through 7 actually that has the same teachers. There's 10 levels in all, and then 8 to 10 they'll have their own set. So like I believe it's 2 to 3 teachers for each group, and they will work accordingly to what your level is. And if you feel like your level might be a little bit higher, a little bit lower, you just need to talk to the head teacher of that group, and then you can adjust your classes from there.
For Chuo, you have to take a placement test. And
No, is that the course start or team?
team.
Team,
But there's a head teacher who's in charge of all of them. And if
Yeah.
you feel like you're in too low, you have to kind of push them to retake the test again. If you talk to international office, they're kind of no. But if you talk to the head teacher, the head of charge of everyone, she may. I heard some students have to really push them to let you retake the test because sometimes the test is not being correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you bring your credits, okay, first of all, in terms of a transcript, okay, Docker has too many units, one
Yes.
forever.
Yes.
So that there was a 1 unit for like how many units?
I don't remember it.
It's a huge list.
Yeah, it was like I don't know. I had maybe almost, it was like 10 units, but it was like a couple, like it was different classes every day. Actually, so Monday through Friday in the Senmon Nihongo was 2 classes, but then in the Japanese level it was 3 classes except Friday. So it was like 3, 3, 3, 3, 5, and then
Yeah, but
that all
the
goes into your
unit,
transcript.
The way the unit comes,
Yeah, it's
all
weird.
1 unit.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I have to do is that I need to say from this unit to this portion of the unit equivalent of this level,
Yes.
but this level to this level is equivalent to, for example, intermediate level, like that. Okay? Like Okayama's case is easier because it's labeled, and then the I can tell intermediate at the beginning. Okay? In order to bring back for the minor and a major, for language, Japanese language case, it has to be labeled as intermediate. It doesn't matter whatever intermediate low is okay, but intermediate level label. I have to become toward minor or major. And then for the cultural courses, doesn't matter, any cultural courses. Japanese cultural content course can count toward the minor or major. If sometimes I need to look at the course content, and then if it's over, majority of the course content is 70 or 80% is Japan focus, then I will count toward the the Japanese content course. Sometimes Japanese universities offer like 2 units or 1 unit. Okay, so CSUB is 4 units. So sometimes, even though it's not Japan related, but somehow this course and this course can relate it, then I may just combine and count toward Japanese content course. So you all have to kind of work with me, but the important thing is you need to bring the syllabus, also the book that you used, and then your work samples. And then I have to look at them, okay? Sometimes you don't bring them because those are heavy, but it takes about a month or so. So if you ship it little bit early, the one that you used before, it may be easier. And sometimes you make a scan, but you don't scan the important part of it, okay? So please be sure to bring those things. Japanese syllabus is pretty useless. It's very different from the CSUB or American university syllabus.
Yeah.
American syllabus is very rich, and it really tells what the concept is about. However, Japanese syllabus is 1 or 2 lines.
Yeah, 1 page.
You need 1 page for it.
You have to read it out. So
That's
I
it.
have to
That's it,
meet
yeah.
individually and then ask you questions. And then looking at the textbooks and reading samples, and then I am able to do the articulation sheet. Yes?
When you ship it, make sure you have a very good tracking number because for me, they end up losing all the important documents when you ship it over. So they're all gone. From my
Never
documents.
happened to my life.
Yeah, they lost mine.
Somebody opened up, at the customs, they opened up and took some, but never happened to my
Yeah,
Out of the
I was like,
whole
one of my
You're
boxes was
unlucky.
completely destroyed.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like half
Wait,
the books that I
I
got in
know-
there are missing.
You're going to Toyo, right?
Yeah.
Is anyone else going? Oh, you.
Three.
So there's 3. Okay. There's you have 2 syllabuses actually. The Japanese syllabus that you find that you can look up online is pretty like Saito said, it's pretty bland.
Yeah.
But they actually, when you take your courses, they'll give you a pretty in-depth syllabus. So keep those. I would say keep those, but don't keep the ones that you can look up online. You don't need to bring those with you.
Yeah, garbage.
Yeah, I would say the same thing for Nagoya as well. They'll give you the actual syllabus. It will actually, so it gives you the course title, then it'll tell you what the course will be about, and it actually gives you the schedule of what you'll be covering. So it's a little more in-depth than what it shows online.
For Chuo, the Japanese syllabus bring back because they don't have it online. But the other courses that you end up taking, they'll have it all online. It's the same one. They haven't changed it, but they'll just only thing that change is the time or what professor is, but the title for it and what's on the syllabus doesn't change it.
Jillian, can you introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm Jillian. I came from Osaka Gakuin. I don't think anyone's going there, so.
Yeah, just wanted you to so people know who you are.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a chance to go to Osaka, it's a very different culture.
It's very different,
I
yes.
recommend it.
Totally
Yeah,
different
different.
message.
It's really cool.
We do everything backwards. And I do literally mean that.
I love it.
So to clarify on the Toyo University syllabus, I'm Denzel, so I'm going to Toyo as well. To clarify, so the syllabus online, is it the database is what you're referring to that is garbage? Or?
Yeah, it's not really relevant to much of like trying to transfer units or anything of real importance. And I guess a side note to add on to that, when you because you can take other courses too with the rest of the Toyo students and stuff. Just be aware, once you go to the first class, because there is the whole add drop period like there's here. Just be careful about the classes that you end up taking, and also the relevancy of what you think can be transferred back, because a lot of stuff doesn't. And that's actually for everybody, really. Because I had a couple classes that I was hoping they would transfer back into something, and they didn't become anything. and it was just kind of a waste of time and stress and everything like that. And some syllabuses will be just like a paragraph, and sometimes if your Japanese isn't strong enough, it's gonna be an unlegible paragraph. So everybody be careful, okay? Because I almost took a movie watching class that was pretty terrible. Like as far as my Japanese level and interpretation and stuff, I didn't understand a word of it. And I brought it to a friend of mine, and then she was like, "No, you don't want this class because A, B, C, and D." And I was like, "All right, cool." And I asked it, so you just be aware and just try to get as much help as you can with that kind of stuff. It'll be fun.
Check with me if you're not sure.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
It
is.
I did
It
ask
is.
you. I just need you to sign something quick.
Yeah. But while you were there, sometimes the course content, especially Toyo, they are revising the course content, so even the title can be the same. The course content may change. And if you think that, well, this really looked different than what you thought, then you need to contact me with the information. Sometimes you just give me the course numbers and titles, and sometimes even just the course number. I really hate when you give me the entire link. Then I will not respond. I will just let me know what courses are you interested in and give me that information about the course description or syllabus. And if you just give me the link of the entire this course list, then I will
like the
not
catalog.
respond.
Oh yeah. Got it.
So you have a question, but just since we're on this subject, you'll be next. What were your class sizes like? Because like at Toyo, I think there's very difference like between class sizes here, because there's a minimum you have to reach here, but in Toyo, I was literally in a class with 3 people. So
yeah, that happens a lot.
It does.
So what were your class sizes like compared to CSU?
So language courses, the higher your place, the less people are in the classes. So if you place lower, it'll maybe be 10, 15 people, probably around 15 people. Higher you get, less people. Culture classes, same as your bond, have less people in it. I had a class that was maybe 3 American people and then 1 Japanese person. So so the courses are a lot more. The student to teacher ratio is really nice.
For Okayama, it's kind of like what Deanna said. The higher in level that you get, the smaller class size. I was in level 3 and 4, and there was about 20 students in each for language. And then for culture courses, it varies between. I had a culture course that only had 5 students in it, including me, and then one that had maybe about 15 maximum. So it's pretty small.
So it's opposite here.
Yeah.
The culture course here has a large number.
For Ritsumeikan, the language and the traditional art courses, I don't believe have a minimum, and probably the smallest class I saw was about 5. But for the other courses they offer, such as the culture courses, they had up to like 40, and they did have a minimum that if they didn't reach, they would have to cancel the class. So it just depends.
Let's see. For Toyo, it's similar to what they were saying. Higher, less people, lower, more people. But most of the classes that you will actually be assigned directly through Toyo will be like, your Japanese 1 or 2 or 3 requirements. Those would just pertain like the other foreigners that are with you guys on that same study abroad. But then any classes you take outside of that, it usually varies, but it's usually a bigger group. I forgot I took some class and there was like almost like 100 of us in there. It just depends on like what you're trying to do. So yeah, it just varies.
For Dokyo, I don't know. I think it was kind of like in the middle, like Japanese 1 being like the lowest, and the one after Senmon Nihongo, where you can take normal classes. Most people were in the middle. It was kind of weird. Like we would have one person. There was only one person in Japanese 1, and so it was like literally like 5 days a week, just him and the teacher. Like so yeah. So you kind of felt a little bit awkward at first. So but then some of the classes were like from the lower level would be like 1 to 3, and Japanese 2 would be like. It was as low as 2 to 3 people, but then 1 person tested out. But the majority of the people would be like in Japanese 3, Senmon Nihongo, and the less people would be like in the highest point, I guess. There was only like 3 people, but I would say in Japanese, yeah, the middle was like the most. It was like 7 people, or like 7 people. Yeah. So, but it also depends, like depending on the classes that you have in the level. Like if you're Senmon Nihongo and under, you would have like specific classes you have to take as like, you know, as a foreign exchange student pertaining to language building building your proficiency. But then from Japanese 3 and up, it got, the more higher it got, the more classes you could take. Like for example, you can take some culture classes, right? But it would be outside, and it would be actually just the same size as this, actually right here, like in a normal Japanese class. But that class was taught in English, the only class that was taught in English. And then as you go up, you can participate in things called like zemi, which is like seminars, which is like, I don't know, people usually take those before graduating. You can do that too. But there's a catalog too, so you can choose.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. With Nagoya, since the levels are from 1 to 10, it does vary. But from what I found, each course is like one teacher for like every 6 students or so. So it's not too big, not too small. It is a lot more like the structure here for student body-wise. And for the culture class, it's a lot like Takashi Sensei's classes. That size and some of the content you'll actually remember a little bit. So depending on what classes you're going for, like if it has to do with PSAs or food, there's not much of a transition. Like if you do pay attention to your classes here, you'll do fine in Nagoya, to be honest.
For Chuo, the most was 15 students, but that's only in the beginning courses, like the first Japanese A. That's the lowest. I was like the most. Spring semester was 15, but for mine, I was a little higher. It was like maybe 8 or 10. But the higher you go, the less students there are. So the highest I heard for maybe class C or D was maybe 8 or even 4 or 5 at the most. But it just varies of what's a situation. So at first you probably think there's a lot of students for one class, but by the end of semester, most students there was probably maybe 5 students at the class. So you pretty much end up having like almost a one-on-one with the teacher.
In Nagasaki is small class sizes. So all the culture courses and the language courses were about 10 to 15 people. And it would vary in either be 95% Chinese students plus you, or the class would be like a little mini UN. I had one kanji course that was someone from India and Denmark and Holland and Korea and Taiwan, and a girl from Trinidad and Tobago. So it really depends. And then if you take a regular Japanese course for the Japanese university students, it's a lot bigger. It's like 50 students. And same for, they allow you to take, it's courses taught in English, but for Japanese students. So you can help out with that, and that's also 50 students.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then for me, the language placement classes, J through 6, whatever you get placed in, there was about 8 to 15 students. Mine was 12 each semester. And then the English taught culture courses for the foreign students, those were about 30 students in them. But the class I took, like with the Japanese students, one of my classes had 3 students, including myself. So me and 2 Japanese dudes, and it was very, very interesting. And then the other class I took, with Japanese students, I had about 20 of us in there. So it kind of depended on what you were taking.
So typically, Japanese universities class size very small.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it mean to you? And in terms of the workload, because of the smaller, higher, the ratio in terms of teacher and the student ratio is in Japan is a lot higher than America.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of the attention you get is a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, how did you feel about that?
Who goes first?
And then how about your courses taught in Japanese language? Japanese language courses are taught in Japanese. Most of the time in Japan, they do teach in Japanese, all the instructions, right? Any different courses taught?
So for me, I had, pardon, I got to know all of my teachers well and they all knew me. So it was nice to have that connection. And unlike here in America where we don't really socialize with our teachers outside of school, I went to most of my teachers' houses, or we went nomikai or like things like that.
Yeah.
And you really get to know your teachers when you're there. And that's something it's a really different experience, and it's kind of nice to actually have your teachers know you. So that was nice for me, and it really helped my trying to get me motivated into studying.
Okay, so courses are Japanese language courses are taught in Japanese.
Yeah.
Smaller size,
Mm-hmm.
and you get lots of attention, so you can't miss classes.
Yeah.
First of all,
No,
Yeah.
and then you
Mm-hmm.
have to do your assignments,
Mm-hmm.
and they expect 2 days, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Normally the
And
next
very
day.
strict,
Yeah,
right?
normally the next day.
Yeah.
Normally the next day, normally.
Or the next week.
All my professors bothered me if I didn't turn something in.
Mm.
Yeah, they'll ask you, it's like, is everything okay? You didn't turn this in yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they become
Okay,
very
so that's the
concerned.
difference,
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Nagasaki though, it was a small class size, but it was super informal. Like we were able, like the teachers really made learning fun. It was all in Japanese. I mean, we were making jokes and kind of like laughing through it. So it didn't feel like, it didn't feel like a class that you had to force yourself to go to. It was fun to go to.
Yeah, so I had both a group question and an individual question. I'm Christina. I'm going to Okayama. So for Okayama, I actually recently was in San Francisco for Daimyo Gyorutsu, and that was worked with Uniqlo was there too. With the Okayama was a part of that. So I ran into someone there who actually said he was involved with the homestay program for Okayama. So I was wondering if you knew anything about that, because I hadn't really heard that there was one at Okayama.
Nope, I did not know that there was a homestay.
Might be a new thing.
I guess I just get to email him. Okay.
There's a class that you can take that will give you the opportunity to do homestay for a weekend with a randomly placed family. But yeah, I have no idea.
I was curious because I ran into him.
Weekend one, but not.
I mean, that might have been, and I didn't entirely get what he was talking about. But
It is my understanding. I went to Okayama many times. I visited Okayama University many times, and it was not. I was not given the option.
It might be a new thing.
it might be, I don't know, maybe.
Let's find out.
I'll look into it because I'd love to do that. But and if my group question, what kind of clubs were there available on your campuses? Because I know, personally know some of you didn't go into clubs, or you were only one club.
I
But
wish
just
I
in
brought my
general,
catalog.
what was the availability of types of clubs on your campuses?
Same. I couldn't bring
Same here. Mine's actually at home.
Yeah. Well, what were some of the ones you noticed the most then?
Well, I was part of Yosokoi, but I had a lot of friends who were in Aikido, who did Kendo, Kyodo. There were some dance clubs too. We also had cheerleaders and an a cappella group. Ikebana, there was also a K-pop group too. That was kind of cool. I was upset that I learned about it in my second semester. Like a month or so before I came back, and I was like, dang it. But it's like
many.
there's so many groups that you can
However,
do.
you need to find out whether they are open to international students.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the
They
Yeah.
say they are open, but they are so sincere
Mm-hmm.
in terms of their club activities, and they have very strict senpai-kohai relationships. And sometimes they do not know how to work with international students.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But
I was gonna say I did kendo club, and I'll tell you if you do a sports type club, the kohai senpai relationship is very strict, and it's gonna be very different from what you're used to. That was very hard for me to get used to, but then
It's good for you.
it is good. It's a good experience, and for some of the clubs, I had a friend who wanted to join the soccer club, but he couldn't because the team is so competitive, or the club is so competitive that they wouldn't let a foreigner in. So just to be cautious of that, but and then be cautious of like not to step on the senpai kohai relationship line.
In Japan, there's always hierarchy relationship, no matter where, even in classroom, and then also they are outside of the campus, even within the homestay family, there was always a hierarchy there. Okay, so rather than hierarchy, respect to elderly people or older people. Okay, so even though they don't ask questions, but they kind of figuring out how you look and they kind of choose a language. But at certain point, I want you to talk about the friendship.
Okay. So I guess this will help branch off.
Yeah.
Oh, I continue on.
Oh, sorry. I was raised. I was just wondering, so if you do join a club or something like that, how much time would you say you'd have to dedicate to that, like per week or?
It would depend on the group that you're joining.
Yeah, either you're joining the circle or the actual club, because that is both different. Circles is more like you come when you want to. Club is you're being very serious, like it's more of a sports series.
You have to make a commitment every
extreme
week.
commitment for the sports side or like a higher. But it just really depends which club you join to, how the schedule is at, how much time they want, and how much dedication they want out of you.
Okay.
So it just varies for which club you go to.
Yeah, that's dying at the same
Yes. There you go, because she was in a circle.
No, she was in the club.
So there's a
I was in the
difference
club too.
between culture clubs and then sports club. If you join a culture club, they'll probably be more lenient. Photography club, there was like over 100 members. There would only be maybe 5 members at a time in the classroom. So it's just really dependent on what kind of club you're joining.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So usually when you first get there, I don't know if it varies with different universities, but they should give you a book, and about all the clubs in the university. And usually like the first half is all like the bukatsu, which are actually the real serious clubs, and it tells you the days and tells you all the information you want to know, the days, the time, and then after that it's like all the circles and stuff. So like that should be all your information there, and then you can contact them there to say, hey, I'm an exchange student. It's okay if I join your club, and then most of the time, they'll be really, really happy. But one thing that I really noticed, like being in part of the bukatsu versus the circle, like when I was in the circle, I was like the oldest, like out of everybody. So like when everybody found that out, they were like from friendly to like super keigo, and I was like, no, we're all friends. Yeah, I was like, we're all friends, so it's good. So yeah, but sometimes for like it was really different because in the bukatsu, like no matter what age you are still in first year ichinensei, because like right. So even though I was like older than everybody there, I was still ichinensei, and then the senpai kohai thing was really, really strict, so I had to use a lot of like keigo towards my senpai. Yeah, so just be aware of that.
I highly encourage you to involve in club activities. Initially, it may be difficult to be accepted as a member. However, once you get accepted, you really can understand how people relationship work and how the Japanese people develop relationship. It's a very, very different experience. Okay?
So to kind of go off that point, how did you guys form relationships? Like, how did you make your friendships? Because were Japanese people more timid? Did you have to go up and be kind of like the starter? I don't want to say like aggressor, but you had to be the one to talk to them first, or like did they come up to you? How do you guys do it?
Raise hands.
It really depends. At least in my situation. Oh, sorry. Did I?
No, it's okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, raise hands.
Yeah, if you're gonna say
that's what she was saying.
Raise hands.
Yeah. In my experience, a lot of my friends I met through the Communication Plaza. It's a 3-story building where a lot of students go to either purchase food, purchase books, and then the language lounge is on the 2nd floor. Like I said, I did volunteer to do that, and through that experience, I made a lot of good friends, and and then outside of school, we would meet up, we would hang out, maybe cook food or like go to a concert or something. It just like builds up from there, and it was kind of half and half. Some of the friends I made talked to me first, but some of them I actually talked to them first. So it just really depends.
Same with me. When I first got there, it was mostly the Tamadaya dorms there who I met. They were helping me out, and that's who they approached me first. And then as well, there are times when I went up to them instead. So like the social group I met outside of the dorms in school, I kind of just went up, kind of end up just talking to them randomly, like a person I just met at the store I like to go to all the time. I always see them. I just went up to them, just started talking, saying, "Oh, you like this too," and we just started hanging out more. And I still talk to them. It just varies. It's like sometimes they're a little shy, and sometimes they're do want to be your friend, but sometimes they want something out of you. Because I've seen some Japanese students who want to be your friend, but the only reason why is because you speak English, and that's the only reason why. And those are most cases, and that's why I didn't really want to stay at the English lounge they had at the Jewel.
Initially, maybe they have to know why they want to develop relationship with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's maybe the first motive. But once they get to know you, that's a different, right?
Actually, I knew at first I thought it was like maybe they just do want to practice the English but also be my friend. But after the second week or so, I already realized they just want to practice their English.
So it takes time to develop relationship. So I kind of want you to kind of reflect the beginning and how you are able to develop the relationship. Marisa is dying to say.
You're talking about Japanese friends or international?
I'm talking about Japanese friends.
Okay,
Essentially,
so
like how many friends did you have during the first semester? How many did you have at the end? Like, how did that kind of develop?
Well, for Okadai, as soon as you get there, you're going to be given a Japanese tutor who will help you through everything that you want to figure out. And the way that I met a lot of my friends was my tutor introduced me to her friend, and then her friend introduced me to her friends, and so it's kind of like a cycle like that. And as well as many other schools, we also had, we call it L Cafe, Language Cafe.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Japanese students there who want to practice English, and that's a really good way to make Japanese friends.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do, but
I do
all right.
too. I do too.
Okay. All right. So, all right. So, anyways, basically with me, it was similar to Melissa. We had Marissa. I am so sorry. I apologize. Anyways, so pretty much we were given these things called language exchange partners. So you have like a certain number of those at the very beginning of like your school year. So you usually get like 6 to like 2 people. So you get like a lot of people that can show you around or help you out with your classwork and things like that at the very beginning. Some people's like LEPs kind of became like everyone's LEP in a sense because they're like really, have like a lot of like good people skills maybe. They just wanted to be friends with everybody. So some people's LEPs were cool with like everyone, and some LEPs were just really shy and like hard to get to know. So that was the first thing, and then language cafe, and then work and stuff like that. And I met a lot of different people through those things. So yeah.
Okay, going back to the difference with the age thing, so I actually met my closest friend through the English conversation circle there was at Overdean, and then like Natalie mentioned, at first it might seem like, oh, they only want to talk to me because of the English, but when you start getting talking about things you guys might have in common, then the relationship starts to like become more than just the like a language exchange thing. And then it's interesting because my friend is actually a couple years older than I am, so then like normal friend I would maybe tease him or stuff like that, and then people would always kind of mention like, oh, how could he do that, he's older than you, kind of like, for us it's normal, we're friends, it's fine. But it's just being aware that even if it's a friend, they're still like, I was fortunate enough that my friend was like kind of studied abroad, he was comfortable with like having American friends, but with other Japanese people, even though they're your friend, even if they're older, they do expect a certain amount of like respect.
I'm gonna, for me, I made friends like with my kendo team. At first, like I thought they all hated me. I really did. I thought they all thought I was some silly foreigner girl trying to play with the big boys. And so I thought they didn't like me at all. And like it took me like maybe 3 months of just like constantly coming to practice and getting to know them and talking to them. And then we became like good friends. And actually I still talk to a lot of my kendo team now. So like at first I thought like, you know, they don't like me. So it just sometimes, I think, and that's actually with a lot of my Japanese friends, it takes time to get to know them. They're not as like very open as we are, like, hey, let's go hang out, you know, like we just kind of like if I met someone, like if I just met Natalie, like, oh hey, you know, let's go do whatever, let's go watch a movie, you know. We're very open, so it takes a little bit more time for them to warm up to you. And so that was what I noticed with a lot of my Japanese friends. It took us about 2 months to really start knowing each other, like on a more friendly level.
And I just want to also add, you kind of have to decide how you, especially if you want to specifically learn Japanese, you have to make the effort. A lot of my friends I met while working at the school's English community zone, so we started our relationship off in English, and so it was really hard to transition into Japanese after the fact because they would always want to speak to me in English. So like, if you're comfortable enough with your Japanese, make a constant effort to kind of like switch the conversation from English to Japanese. And I think it'll affect it really in the long run.
Even if you're not comfortable.
Yeah. Mine, I was still uncomfortable with mine, but I still try. It's like, what? And I switched to English and then try to go back to Japanese.
I feel like all of us probably have a regret that we probably wish we would have spoken more.
Yeah. Everyone can make
Yeah.
Nico?
Oh yeah. So yeah. Yeah, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just speak Japanese because that's what that's one of the main reasons why you're there. You know, besides sightseeing and making friends, speak as much Japanese as you can, and just actively, I don't know, talk to your close friends when you build with them. Is this correct? Is this right? So then they'll more than likely want to help you too. Yeah. So don't regret that. Like, oh, I wish I should have spoken more Japanese and I spoke English like most of the time or this, but you gotta keep it balanced, I think. And then as for friends, I guess like the 3 top things that I was able to make friends was events, that to get your foot wet. Just go to events. There'll be like a few events and then just talk to people, like use your Japanese and use what you learn in your new classes. So events, circles or clubs, and then your tutors. And then sometimes at home, like I would come home and my roommate, he would have his friends over and I met them too. So it just keeps branching out. You'll make a lot of friends. Don't worry about that. So that's just what I would say.
So I have 2 questions. I'm Shannon, and I'm going to Ritsumei-con.
There you go.
So the first question would be recommendation for packing for for the whole year, and the second one would be recommendations for phone, like do you do international service? Did you just not worry about it phone, and you want to be flying? Like what was my 2?
Ooh, okay.
My biggies.
Maybe Andrea goes first and then us.
No, we'll just start at the end. I think and just go down like.
Yeah.
Oh, these are group questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because actually, I'll weigh in on this a little bit too. So for the packing list, this one's for the guys. Spray deodorant is incredibly popular in Japan. So if you want actual deodorant, bring it with you. I brought a year's supply of deodorant with me.
Yes.
For girls too, yeah. So if you're not used to
they don't
it,
have
they don't
deodorant
sell
there.
it anywhere. If there's a brand of like body wash you like Old Spice is not over there. Axe is, Old Spice is not.
It's more expensive.
It's more expensive too.
It's like the size of this
any
bottle.
snacks that you think you might not get, you might not have, bring a small supply with you. And then for the phone situation, if your phone's unlocked, you're pretty much in a good spot.
Yep.
Basically, the major phone brands are Apple, anything Sony. Samsung is kind of getting popular over there. It's not necessarily where I would want it to be because I use Samsung phones. But yeah, you can buy a SIM card. It's probably the cheapest bet. You can usually just go buy like a 3 GB SIM card. If your phone's unlocked, just pop it in. Or if you need a cheap phone, it's really easy to just go ahead and just purchase a phone. My friend got like a $40 Android phone, and then he paid I think $10 a month for 3 gigabytes of data. So
Yeah.
it's really easy.
I think shoes is the same concern. For women, if you are wearing over 7, it will be harder to find.
Actually,
same thing with
I'm
guys
a size
too. Same
9.
thing
I
with
had no
guys too.
trouble with mine over there.
Size 9?
I'm a size 9. I was able to find my size.
Yeah, so that's
But you are in
specialty
Tokyo
sizes.
area.
Even when I was traveling around like other places, I was able to find my shoe size.
Okay.
Um,
Typically for boys and it's in other words you may be able to find it, but it's not so cheap.
Maybe Andrea has because she's.
Well, for me, I wear a size 11 women's. It is pretty impossible. But H&M, it's right in front of one of the bus stops if you're going to Kyoto-eki. And it was my lifesaver. I found some nice shoes.
oh, yeah. One sec. Like a lot of you should be fine. I'm a 16.
Yeah.
So it was literally like impossible to
Yeah.
find shoes. But yeah, H&M and Uniqlo for like clothes and stuff are very good.
Yeah. And then sorry.
No, Nico.
Oh, Nico.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that you think you can't find, just bring it. Or maybe even Amazon like online, but it might take a while, so you can probably find it. But you also have to know your shoe size in centimeters.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
If you are small size and medium size, you don't have any problem.
Yeah.
But it's just the big size.
Yeah, like
you will
10 and
not
up.
Easily find.
Just for shoes for women for size 9 in Japan is 26, so you can just go from there. Also, I recommend do not bring in your converter because you can easily get one in Japan for $1 or less than that. Because I bought one here, it ended up being 13, and I never used it because it's only a 2-prong. If you have like a 3, then definitely. But I still recommend waiting until you get to Japan and buy it. It's way cheaper. Daiso too has it.
Saved my life.
Yeah.
Regarding the cell phone, do any of you guys have T-Mobile?
Oh yeah.
Saved my life.
No.
Hold on. Do any of you guys have T-Mobile? Nobody?
Okay.
Okay,
about
well
Sprint?
you should get
Sprint?
T-Mobile because if you have the unlimited data plan with T-Mobile, you can use your phone abroad for texting, and data is free, and it's 20 cents per minute for a call. So if you guys like want to sign up in the next month for T-Mobile, like I never had to buy a SIM card, but just like Jovan said, you can always buy like an unlocked phone for cheap and then get a SIM card for that. But T-Mobile.
Yeah, I had T-Mobile, but I couldn't do that what Melissa did for mine because it said it would charge more than it would have said for me since I will be there for a year. I recommend more getting the unlocked phone. You can even get a really cheap phone right now and have that unlocked. You just put the SIM card and make that your hotspot. And then Nico.
All right. So yeah, just talk to your carrier. I know T-Mobile for sure because my brother just recently went abroad with his high school, and we had no problems like talking or sending texts, or just anything. So talk to your provider. I know T-Mobile and maybe Sprint too. They have that kind of international plan. You can talk with them. But other than the SIM card option, you can also choose to get a portable Wi-Fi, and you can do that. I don't know. I live close to like Akihabara was like 15 minutes, so like that was like the place to get all your electronics, and it's just like how you would pay for like a SIM card too, depending on how much data or gigabytes you wanted per month. You would pay like roughly $25 to however much you wanted. If you wanted to live stream everything, it might be really expensive. But
depending on which brand or like type you get. I think I got mine for about like $30 for like a month, but it wasn't super fast, but it was enough to do like messaging and like checking some stuff.
Okay. So, this regards to the to a couple things. So with the shoe thing, I can't get shoes in my size either. So I just splurged and got 2 pairs and just had it for the entire time because you're gonna walk a lot. You're gonna walk your shoes out. Yeah. So just make sure if you can find shoes in your size easily. Cool. I have caveman feet, so it doesn't really work out so well. I gotta have 4E width. It's ridiculous. But and then on to like the well, he said the pocket Wi-Fi thing. That's a thing. But then you can also, if you're in Akihabara and other places, you can actually buy wireless modem for your room if you don't have one. So that was extremely useful for me. Like if I wanted to have people over and all of us play video games on our laptops, just buying that. And then plug it into the wall, and then you don't have to do anything else. If there's internet in the house, it'll work. And it's not that expensive either. So definitely look into it.
Andre?
So I used pocket Wi-Fi because at least in my dorm the Wi-Fi was terrible. and people were even having issues with the routers that they bought. So I was able to use my pocket Wi-Fi for my laptop and up to 10 other devices that I wanted. But also, like, I was always the one that was kind of the savior when we're out because I had unlimited Wi-Fi on the one. What was it about?
Was that the $60 one?
Maybe like, well, it was 60 about.
60
Yeah.
a month.
I think I saw that
a
one
month.
too.
It's Let's Internet, but
Unlimited.
How much?
60 a month.
$60 per month?
Yeah.
For unlimited.
Unlimited Wi-Fi can up to 10 devices, but
Yeah.
I was
10
the savior
Savior.
several times when everyone had no data and we were lost somewhere in
Mhm.
Kyoto or we needed to make a call.
Right.
Just
yeah.
tell your roommate about it, they'll get it, and then
Yeah.
they'll say it's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
yeah.
your savior.
I mean, you can go in with like a couple people if you want to do that,
Mm-hmm.
but that was my choice and I used it the entire year. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was
Dang, I
gonna
wish I was
say,
with you, man.
in regards to the packing, I know that like, people are saying, oh, you should bring all this stuff. And I kid you not, I tried to bring as little as possible, knowing the fact that I'm going to bring a bunch back with me. So when I went to Japan, I brought like the biggest suitcase that the airplane would carry without having to pay an extra fee. And I only had it about halfway filled. And what I brought clothing-wise was things I was willing to part with at the end of my year. So I think, because then I ended up bringing 3 full suitcases back. And I mean, they were all full, like completely full, and still mailing stuff. So, but yeah, I bought stuff that I was willing to part with clothing-wise. But yeah, if you do need shoes or like certain things in your size, shoes, deodorants, any medication, things like that, bring a year's supply. Bring a little over a year's supply if you think you might, you never know what may happen. So bring plenty of that. But in terms of like clothing and stuff, you could buy clothing there. You'll be fine. You'll survive. So bring as little of that as possible is what I recommend.
I guess keep in mind, you're not going to be on a deserted island.
Yeah, only the necessities.
Means of contacting people back here to say, can you ship me your winter clothes, which is what I kind of want to do.
Yeah, just
or to ship them back before you leave.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make you two the last people to talk on this, and then we're gonna go into the next question.
So I personally wouldn't recommend that if you're of my height, my shoe size, my weight, anything like that. Because despite H&M having maybe 2 items and a couple pair of shoes that I could buy, I was screwed if I didn't bring enough clothes for summer or for winter, or if I had to bring stuff back. For someone of my height, my weight and everything, that was not a good idea, so that might be something you guys need to think about. Because even though it's not a dessert item, they don't carry a lot of sizes.
In terms of like online shopping.
That's true too. Like if, particularly if you're bigger, like let's say for female garments, you might need to bring some of that stuff. I cannot find anything like that.
Yeah.
Sizes are all
So
different.
that's actually a true point too.
They're all
Size
different.
is different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, size is different.
Women are
I wear small S,
Yeah.
but in Japan it's a L.
Yeah. Yeah. For men, same. Just a size up. Yeah.
So just be sure
Go
to
2
check
sizes
all
up.
those things before you-
It also depends on where you shop too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Diana?
Yeah, talking about the internet phone thing. I'm not sure about other universities. My university did a event where they had a person from a phone company come, and they set us up with a SIM card that came with a phone number. It was like 3 Gs of high speed data plus like unlimited slower data. I think it was like $30 a month. If not, I'm pretty positive any other place, if you go to an electric store, if you go to one of those, I went to one before and they have a lot of options also. About the packing, Gabby mentioned it already, but I recommend that you guys get your winter clothing shipped because it is going to be a lot heavier and it does get cold, especially if you guys haven't ever experienced cold weather. It's going to be really overwhelming. So I recommend you getting that shipped. I don't know if any of you guys are planning to take textbooks, maybe to study. I don't recommend you do that because textbooks in Japan are so much cheaper. You're probably going to end up buying a lot, wanting to bring them back, and then you're going to end up having to leave the ones you took. So I don't recommend you taking textbooks. There's a lot of used bookstores that sell really cheap manga textbooks, really easy to buy. And then same as Andrea, clothing wise, I could not find clothing my size in Japan. So if I ever needed something, like if I wanted clothing, I would have to ask my parents to ship it to me to Japan. And then also makeup. So to me, makeup is like a really big thing, and I couldn't find any foundation, my color, stuff like that. So nothing really I like. So if as it's been mentioned before, stocking up or having it sent to you.
And just remember for flights, any international flight, you get 2 check baggage.
Mhm.
So whatever width your plane will allow, and then you get 1 carry-on.
Mhm.
Just remember that,
Yep.
okay? Without paying additional fees.
You are going to the country which has got a lot of kinds of things.
Yeah.
Okay, so except that the sizes can be the issues, but then in terms of daily supplies and whatnot,
Yeah, you can get everything there.
you won't have any problem. You have a more choice, and I want you to explore variety of things. Go to 100 円ショップ. You can make it survive there.
Oh yeah, 100 円 Daiso.
She had, yeah.
Oh yeah, I just have a question because it was brought up a little bit earlier about the Wi-Fi. And I have a question for I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Jennifer. Jennifer, but you can call me Jen.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering how the Wi-Fi is in the dorms or like on campus. Like how does
It's pretty much think of it as CSUMB, but it can be a little worse unless you have your own Ethernet cord. And each room actually has an Ethernet port now, so you can actually do that, and it's a lot more faster, to be honest.
okay, so I should bring an Ethernet
Oh,
cord
you
or
don't need to.
something?
There's a Daiso
They
like
just-
right down the street, and you can
really?
just buy it for $1.
Just kidding. Okay.
For my case, for Chul, I brought my own Wi-Fi box, like where we have. It was easier than trying to buy it from Japan because I cannot read that manual at all because it's all very high level Japanese. So and plus it was just easier since they already came with everything I needed without trying to go find it at some other store. So I just plug it in there.
So it'd be easier for me to bring my own.
I don't know.
Wi-Fi
For Nagoya it's
Like-
different because for mine we need to have a modem box.
Oh, okay.
No,
'cause I know
They do have Wi-Fi, but it is like CSUMB, to be honest.
Yeah,
but it can be a little shaky at times. But they do fix it like every couple of months just to make sure that it's okay for all the students to use. But if that's only if you're living in iHouse. If you're living in Proxy, you'll have to get your own router, I think.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So I have a question for the group. Did you guys cook mostly for yourselves, or did you eat out? And then how much does that cost? And then additionally,
Dude, that's hard. It's both.
I got you on that. I grocery shop a lot.
How much was a trip to the bar?
It varies where you went to.
It depends. But this I'm gonna make. This is the last question, just because there's a little bit at the end that I want to talk about. But so how much was it to eat out and?
Yeah, did you cook for yourselves? How much was it to eat out?
So the first semester I ate out like every day, which was horrible. I ate out like every day.
Sorry.
And that's just because Toyo's cooking accommodations are kind of lackluster. There's just a hot plate, and then essentially you're like, I have to make like 4 different items. I have to cook each one and then wait, and it was just annoying. But like, so yeah, I ate out all the time. And then in terms of like a normal trip to the bar, it depends. If you go to like an izakaya, like there's torikizoku, which is like 280 yen for everything. Or you can do like nome hodai or tabe hodai, and it's usually like it's like $20-ish.
20 to 30, depending on where you go, but give or take, yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's about what you're expecting to spend or something like
For 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh, can I piggyback?
Yeah, go.
All right,
Just
so
raise your hand.
cool. Yeah. So piggybacking off of him for anybody going 12, yeah. The thing about your cooking accommodations inside your dorm are not very great. You have a hot plate. You have like a microwave that also has an oven setting and a grill setting. I've never used the grill setting. I don't know how to use it. But
I have no idea how to use that. Yeah.
Never used it. But so yeah, pretty much similar to Jovan. Ate out a lot, but also know that your Toyo is actually ranked. I think it's number 1.
It's the number 1 cafeteria.
Yeah.
There's building 6.
Yeah, building 6 cafeteria is number 1 ranked in like out of the Japanese universities like in general. So it's really good. So if you're on campus, the lines are worth it. Just do it.
Yeah.
And then I looked up like some recipes of how to make stuff in the microwave and stuff like that. That'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So depending on like I guess if you want to eat out more, sometimes it might actually be more cost efficient to go eat out and have smaller meals because or you can go home and cook at home, but then that, you might have to spend a bit more to get more stuff. But the one thing that saved me the most was the Japanese supermarkets will be your best friend. After a certain time, they have this special sticker that says Hangaku, which everything is 50% off. And you just buy in bulk, and then you're good.
Yeah,
you're
at a
good.
certain
Yeah,
time, like
you're
around
good.
7:30 is when they try and get rid of the food, or else they throw it out.
Just remember Hangaku, half off.
Yeah, even 30% off is great. Like with Nagoya is very convenient when it comes to that. If you're living in iHouse, literally right across the street is Aoki Supa. So you have a great variety of like cuts of meat. Some of the vegetables would be cheap on some days. It's best to go around like 6, I would say. That's when you see like the stickers. But if you want to go to, if you want to go a little more cheaper for buying like groceries, if you ride a bike, it should take like 5-10 minutes to go to Kanesue. But that's the cheapest that I can remember for groceries altogether. Meat, produce, other goods. And I think we also had a 24-hour one too, called Max Value. That's right, Max Value. It's about 2 blocks past Aoki Supa. And right there, that's a great variety of different products. Like rice is good over there. Tofu is really good priced over there. Vegetables are great there too, and frozen stuff.
I think the Gabby maybe should have responded because he's a good
Nagasaki is special. It
Yeah,
is very
that's
cheap. It is very cheap, but also there's a ton of hills. So in terms of buying groceries, the higher the altitude, the cheaper the price. The further away from the sea, the cheaper it is. And
Makes sense.
lucky for you, the dorms are on top of the hill, so there's like little old ladies that sell produce.
Oh.
It's easy to get.
Yeah.
Also, just to say, if you're like an early bird, some grocery stores give out coupons at the beginning of the day for like the first 50
True.
people who go, and you get like anything in the store for like 90% off. So it's
Yeah,
like
that's
60%
right.
off.
That's good.
So just remember
I never got a chance to do that
stuff
though. The earliest I would go shopping is like 10 a.m.
The last thing I just gotta mention, so like as Americans, we all have this like culture of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this wrapped up, I'm gonna get this to go. There's none of that at all.
I was able to do it.
Well, yeah, there's been like extenuating circumstances here or there, but like just know that like if you're paying like to eat at a place, like you're paying to eat at the place, not paying for like
To go.
bringing it home or anything like that. You can get stuff to go, like but solely to go and then go home and then eat it. But yeah, so just be aware of that because it can be a rude awakening at times.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's no real such thing as take home unless it's like fast food.
Yeah.
You or the restaurant sells it, but that's very few.
That's-
Very few.
Yeah, you either take it home or you eat it there. There's not like eat and then between.
Yeah.
None of that.
Some places
So yes,
just ask if they have takeout. And if
Yeah.
they don't,
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to
very
ask, but yeah, that helps. That's
Mhm.
what you got it.
Okay, so the last thing I want to do is kind of just go, I guess just have the panel. If you guys have any, I got cut off, but if you guys have any tips, like something that you really would like to share, like I'd say like up to 3. So starting with you, Diana, if
something
you have anything.
different from each other. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to whatever other people say.
So
and say
which end are we
something
starting?
different.
Who's starting first?
Oh, you can start at the very end.
Oh, I'm starting first? Okay.
If you don't have anything, it's fine.
No,
You
I
can
do.
skip.
It's just gonna give me a second to think.
Oh, I
about
got it.
Okay.
Okay,
go.
we'll start with you.
My number one tip is that you guys should take the JLPT while you're over there. It's a really good experience. I took it this December before going abroad and I failed at 3. And I took it this past summer and I passed the 3. It's a really good study goal. So, and then the books are so cheap over there, so it's like a really good experience. It's really different than taking it here in America. There's a lot more people from all over the world. And then I recommend if you're planning to do a part-time job through your university, you'll most likely have to set up a bank account. So you'll probably be able to ask your international office for help for that, but I recommend setting that up also.
Where's Theo?
The only one that I can think of right now is just try to keep track of your money, because when you're out shopping and you see a lot of things that you want to get, your money can slip by pretty fast, and at the end of the year when you're trying to buy your plane ticket home, it might be a little bit difficult. So
I would recommend you to reserve the
Yeah.
returning a ticket. Okay?
Yeah.
You have to wait until
That's
like
the
very
only
January
thing.
to do that.
My first one, I would say, would be to set reminders for when you have to sign for your scholarship. That had a few times caught me where I forgot to sign and they told me like they don't know when it would come. It always came 10 days later, and so for 10 days I had 700 yen to my name for
By the way,
meals and whatnot.
You're talking about the JASA, right?
JASO, and at least for Ritsumeikan, Grassis, you also have to sign for it, and if you don't sign it on that one day, it's going to be 10 days late. So that can really set you back and make you think of how you're going to spend $7 for a week.
Okay. Let's see. 3, right? Up to 3?
Yeah,
Up
I'll
to
just
3?
say 1 though, because time's actually pretty
Okay. I would just say go get lost. Like in my surrounding area, there was literally so much, and everything was like kind of stuck together. So sometimes it'd be like I literally walked down the alleyway and found a giant park with a waterfall in it, and it was really random, and that's one of my favorite spots in the area. But yeah, just go get lost.
Oh yeah, mine's kind of like, it's kind of similar, but I recommend taking, just travel any opportunity you get a chance to, because you might regret it. But you know, if you're feeling brave or bold, just take a trip by yourself and with no plan. But as you know, as long as you have your place to stay and you're good, that's the only thing you need to plan. But if you don't have any other plan, then just go. Like, you feel so free and the world feels bigger than it is.
Yeah. To kind of bounce off of what Nico was talking about, I actually did get to do several like trips by myself, and it's very eye-opening because you get to see where you stand with your language, but you can also see what's around you. And that was also something I wanted to talk about. Absorb your surroundings. Pictures can only do so much, but make sure you take the time to actually admire what you're around. The architecture is great, the change in nature, just everything. Don't take that for granted, because you won't remember that once you leave.
Push yourself to go out there doing something by yourself, because it's easier. It's like it helps you see how far you can go beyond your boundaries by doing by yourself, like a lone trip, going even downtown by yourself, trying to see how it is everything by yourself, and also test your Japanese. Like for me, I did a week trip, travel by myself, going to from Tokyo to Kyoto, and then around the Kansai, and then from there I went to Hiroshima, all by myself, and it helped me push myself to see how far I can go with my Japanese, but as well able to go beyond my personal boundaries.
I would say get involved. With Nagasaki, I mean, unlike Osaka or Tokyo, it's not immediately obvious everything that is available in the city to do and to see. I would say get involved with like events at the school or events like in the community. I had some volunteer opportunities that I could do. There's like community groups, and that don't go into those kind of meetings or events thinking like I'm going to meet my best friend, I'm going to have a really good connection with these people, but that whether like you don't see them again or you do become best friends, it's all kind of a learning experience, and you get all these different viewpoints and ways of thinking.
Julie?
They've all taken a lot of ones I wanted to say, so the final one is don't forget things back home. And by that I mean if you have any FAFSA, don't forget that. Don't forget you to register for your classes.
Definitely.
Like you know, your next semester if you're staying there for spring, don't forget to do that spring one. And then also like your coming back classes, because you will screw yourself if you forget that. So don't forget the important things back home like that. If you have any other important things you need to take care of like that, don't forget it, because it's not going to be fun trying to unfix your problem that you've created because you forgot something.
And don't forget about the
that.
Ooh, I have one
Yeah,
comment.
then for a natural disaster, okay, be sure to connect to each other. And then especially you may get email from international office, but I also want you to contact me, because I'm very worried about if there is a certain earthquake or something, disaster, I worry about you. So it's good to know that you are okay or you need help. Okay. once a month, I want you to be sure to keep up your journals and get scanned project, okay?
Okay. And then I guess my final thing to say would just be have fun and take risks. It's pretty important. I climbed Fuji, and that was like probably the biggest thing that I did that year, and I thought I was gonna die. So everyone, just have fun and take risks. But I would like to thank everyone who participated in the panel today. You guys were all great, and thank you guys for your questions.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Don't miss the last train also, because taxi is very expensive.
It can be really expensive.
Very expensive.
You can help me out, and then the chairs are gonna be
Unless
on
you
that
plan to
side.
stay out, you know.
What time?
On that. If you guys can help me out and just grab your chair and then put it over on that.
Three ladies, they were if you guys want any more food, take it down.